Okay. Hi, welcome to Russia. We have a series of stands that you're gonna be passing through and do a tour. Here we got politics and history. Here we got political geodivision and borders. Here we got tourist landmarks and festivals. Here we got traditions. And finally, we got economy. So, and at the end, you can taste the blinis that are a traditional meat of Russia. So, you can start here the tour.
Hello, good morning, my name is Salome, and today I am going to explain how the Russian politics works. First of all, Russia is a federal, semi-presidential republic of Russia. Why is semi-presidential? Because the executive power is mainly led by the president, but also the prime minister. And it has a multi-party system. So, as I said, in the public power, there is executive branch, right? And in the executive branch, we have, as I said, the main leaders, the prime minister, and the president. But also we have a cabinet with other ministers that lead whole Russia. Then we have the parliament, and in the parliament we have the federal assembly, and then they control like the laws, and maybe laws, and regulate the laws. Then we have the judicial branch, in which we have the Constitutional Court, the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court arbitration. We have also district courts, in which we have trials, and regional courts, which is mainly for appeals. And we try also to be so flexible with the power so that Russia can work all together. And these are the requirements. These are the requirements for the presidential elections. The next president of Russia has to be 25 years old, has to be a citizen of Russia, and has to be living in Russia for at least 10 years. If you can win to Vladimir Putin. Then we have cabinet, security council, security and intelligence service. These are government bodies really important for Russia, so that it can work. Russia is really big, so sometimes it can be hard. And then the foreign politics, the relationship with USA started to deteriorate after USA tried to invade Iraq, and Russia was not in favor of this. With China, they signed a good neighborhood pact, so they have a good relationship with Japan. They have a really good relationship because they attacked once a fisherman and they didn't accept like the guilt. And with Ukraine, we know all that they are now in war. Thank you.
I'm going to try to explain briefly the Russian history. Okay. So everything started in the region of Russia is when slaves came into Kiev and settled there. Why Kiev? Because Kiev is on a strategical point between the Byzantines and the Vikings, so they commerce there. And they create La Rus de Kiev, that was the first department that they had. Then it came the religion influence that, as you know, Russia is one of the main representatives of Christian Orthodox religion, first with Cyril and Methodius that came to Russia, and they established the religion and made it bigger, and also because of Cyril, it's now named the Abecedary, that is the Cyrillic Abecedary. Then we have the Tartar invasion. Tartars invade Russia and create the Golden Horde. They also made some Khanats there, and due to this invasion, people had to migrate to Moscow. So they create Moscow. We have Ivan III that did a war against Novgorod and against one of the Khanats that was lead of the Tartar invasion. Then after there comes Basilio III that he also did a war, and he also win the Crimean Khanate that was also a lead of the Tartar invasion. And after many leaders, then we have one of the most important, that is Ivan IV or Ivan the Terrible, the first Tsar. Why Tsar? The word Tsar came from the word Caesar because they had the idea that Russia was going to be the next Rome. And he also created the Arsenal of Russia and was the one able to cross the mountains and finally conquer part of Asia and part of Europe. So he made that Russia has these two continents. Then after many years of Ivan the Terrible, we have it start the Romanov dynasty with Miguel the First. The Romanov dynasty governed until the beginning of the World War I. And also, but here, society was wrong because everyone was servitude, and if you born poor, you die poor. So it was like terrible. Then we have Peter the Great, that he made Russia a world power because he went to Europe and bring some ideas like the naval force and the army that we know now. Some other important stars are Catherine the Great, that also conquered a lot of places, places in America, places in Alaska, also some Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan, and finally Alexander the First, who was the one that won the Napoleonic Wars because they committed the mistake that they almost commit, that is enter to Russia in winter. Some other important events, the Crimean War, where they lost the territory of Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan, and the abolishment of servitude. In 1861, it comes an emancipatory reform, and so late, it was considered the end of feudalism. The last emperor was Nicholas II, that bring to Russia crisis, economically and social crisis. Even they thought they were manipulated by Rasputin. He was the last, and people was obviously mad. So it created the Russian Revolution, where the first Russian Revolution, there were two, the one of February and the one of November. The one of February is more when they killed the last emperor, the Marxist ideas started to flow over, and it was more led by Lenin and the government that they had only for a time. Then in November, the Bolshevik party started to bring in force. So it created the second revolution, that was the one in November, that finally leads to the creation of the Soviet Union. In the Soviet Union, first we had Stalin, the second important thing, the pact with non-aggression with Hitler, that Hitler didn't respect and invade the Soviet Union in winter, so the same mistake, and so because of the winter they died, and they finally won the World War II. So winning the World War II, this all led us to the Cold War, the war that they had with the United States to see which one was bigger and technological and armamentistic more advanced. And finally, after the Cold War, this led to the dissolve of the Soviet Union. There was another governor before, until the 2000, where they chose Putin the first time, and now he's been re-elected and re-elected and re-elected until now. So that's everything. Thanks.
Hello, my name is Isabella.
And my name is Maria Paula.
And today we are going to explain you the political division.
Okay, as you know, Russia is the largest country in the world and is in two continents, that is Asia and Europe.
Asia is the 1/3 of the continental world, and Europe is respectively 17.7% and 25.3% of the Russia is together with China, the country that borders the most countries and the one with the longest borders.
It has common borders with the following countries. First, we have Norway, that is on the left of Russia, as you can see in the map.
Second, we have Finland, that is on the left side of Russia.
Third, we have Estonia, that is on the left side of Russia.
Fourth, Latvia, that is next to Russia.
Five, we have Belarus, that is down in the left part of Russia.
6 and 7, Poland and Lithuania. Lithuania on the top left of Russia.
And Poland on the bottom left of Russia.
8, Ukraine, that is down in the left part of Russia.
9 and 10, we have Georgia and
Azerbaijan.
Georgia is down from Russia.
And Azerbaijan is on the border of Russia.
11. Kazakhstan is down from Russia.
12. China and Mongolia. Mongolia is down from Russia.
And China is on the bottom right of Russia. And finally, North Korea, that is down from Russia.
Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Samuel Ortiz,
My name is Alejandro.
and we are going to explain you tourists in Russia. What adventure tourists you can do in Russia? In Russia, you can do so many things, but I'm going to explain you the Trans-Siberian Road. That it is the longest railway in Russia. That your length is of now 9,200 kilometers, and it is an adventure and incredible place to visit.
What is the most beautiful thing in Russia? The most beautiful thing is Kremlin. Kremlin is a civil and religious building that is located in the center of Moscow. It is the White House of the president that is the lead of Vladimir Putin. Four places of the cathedral to be exact. Grouped in towards the borders the Kremlin wall.
What is the most visited place in Russia? Moscow is the capital of Russia. In addition, the Russian city of Sochi was the host of the Winter Olympics in 2014. It is one of the most cities in Russia that have quantity in tourists in the summer.
Sochi, the city on the Black Sea, is now a summer beach resort.
What is the most famous thing in Russia? The most famous sport to see in Russia is no less than an area of 23,100 square meters, also on the UNESCO list. It separates the Kremlin Vladimir Putin's place or residence from the Kitay-Gorod neighborhood. The Kremlin is like the White House from the United States, but in Russia.
All monuments are 400 square meters. The buildings that can be visited in the square are among the most varied, each with a special meaning. The Kremlin, that you know, there is a civil religion building in the center of Moscow. The Lenin's Mausoleum. There is a monument of Vladimir Ilyich, that was a president. Basilisks and Kazan cathedrals. That is that was organized by Kazan to commemorate the Khanate of Kazan, and the history of June that was located in the square and is in Moscow.
And what are the main holidays in Russia? First of all, we have the New Year, that it is 1st of January, it has the same as us. Then we have Orthodox Christmas, that is January 7th, that they eat from 2 days, salad, vegetables, and go to church to have better fortune in the year. And then we have Holy Year, that is in January 13th, that they make because they use the Julian calendar, so they make for the calendar, the different calendar that they use. Then we have the Defenders of the Fatherland Day, that it is a day for the soldiers that is their life from Russia. Then we have Victory Day, that it is a day that celebrates, that commemorates the Second World War when they finished. Then we have the Russia Day that celebrates the city of the Russia, celebrate Russia. Then we have National Unity Day that is commemorated for popular uprising in Liberia. And then we have Revolution Day that it was after the World War. Russia made a revolution and established November 7 to be the Revolution Day. Thank you so much.
that is a chocolate egg. They color, they draw the flag on the egg of something representative of Russia. Christmas. Commonly we have Christmas on 24, 7, 31, 25. They only celebrate Christmas on December 24 according to the Gregorian calendar. Ivan Kupala is another celebration. That celebration they do from the summer fertility. They celebrated jumping, singing, dancing around a fire, and pass time with their families or friends. Maslenitas is they celebrate with the mother-in-law. So they pass time and they eat a blini with the mother-in-law. The winning is a celebration that they have to use a dress representative of Russia, and the boy have to dress something representative of Russia. Meals. Okay, the most representative meals is the borscht, that is a soup. That soup is when the time is cold, that soup is hot, and when the time is hot, they eat the soup cold. They almost eat caviar. That caviar is a egg of salmon or egg salmon. Pelmeni is similar to the ravioli, and the batrushka that is like a cake, and they eat it with a cheese, a couple of cheese. Traditional clothing. The girls almost use as clothing to in a special case, and the boys use that clothing to almost especially dates. Okay, dancing is the perepila. The perepila is like a dancing. They do like a competition, and they dance around and repeat like the dances. Barinja is the commonly dance that everybody knows, that is they put their hands like this and dance. Thank you.
So my name is John Sebastian, and I'm going to talk explain to you about Russian economy. First of all, with the dissolution of the Soviet Union, Russia had a really hard time because they weren't any rulers. So who took the country leadership force was trying to re-order Russia. So by using the Washington Consensus, which consists of like steps or rules, spheres, principle, politically not government, either creating too much debt, the reduction of all spending, healthcare, school, infrastructure, tax reform, not too low, not too bad, something sustainable, for market-driven interest rate, also lowering the rates of the market, and increasing something like competitivity exchange rates, 6 trade liberalization, allowing people to sell things in and out of Russia, and lowering the like taxes from 14 to 40, the realization of the foreign investments, privatization of enterprises, deregulation, and legal security for their rights. So Russia had a particular situation because it had really too much war for telecommunication, oil, and other raw materials that were able to sell to other countries. But due to the loss of leadership, these enterprises were needed to privatize and were sold to the best poster. The thing is that the best poster in that time was United States, and it's really by Russia. They wanted to give their oil research to his high level activity. So they that to people in Russia, and with the economic cycle there, the world was not that good. So it ended up causing a really big problem of corruption. The things were distributed in by families or friends. So basically, it started really like change or success because everyone like was correlative. Everyone relative has like a piece of the enterprise and they were fabricated, and the money was invested in foreign poverty. This was kind of good, not as good as if they were in the first place regulated the distribution of the natural resources, but it was good because they they buy properties in other countries. Russia supported that because it was like the only way for supporting the economy, but it also cost them a really big amount of money and just continue. So the Russian GDP in 199 fell. With the creation of the new Russia, they replaced the coin with a new ruble. And this ruble was worth less than a penny in the United States, but was equal in size and it weighed to the 5 Switzerland to the 5 Switch. So many Russians take a bag of rubles and spend it in cash machines in Switzerland and get a lot of snacks. Basically, it was really cheap. So with the failure of the market and other stuff, the war that was getting failed, and the economic crisis in Asia, Russia had a really big fall down. The money was devalued, and it was a really bad situation for them. Although some enterprises were donated 22 billion, which 5 billion were literally stolen from them. So this came to this major turnaround where, due to the low currency value, the debts were equally lower, so they can literally some sort of way easily for paying it. So Russia could pay their wages and their debts, and they could re-enter the economy. And they were benefit because of the all increased prices. They were able to sell it much expensive. So they were rebuilding the economy and they were like getting started again. With the Vladimir Putin taking the power and consolidating and guaranteeing for the president race and his relatives, because many of them presidents, Putin itself and the last president Boris, were involved in cases of corruption